How's everybody doing? What I want to tell y'all is a little bit about Bitcoin. Uh, the reason why I want to do this because I've spoken with a few of the friends I have, and amazingly to me, a few of them didn't know what Bitcoin was, which I thought was surprising because I've been studying and following Bitcoin for a few years now, and it was really kind of surprising to me that some people still doesn't even know what Bitcoin is. Well, to begin, to make it plain and simple, Bitcoin is what is referred to now as a cryptocurrency, which is basically it's digital money. I mean, it's money that we use to make transfers, predominantly on the internet, but more and more businesses are now accepting Bitcoin right at the counter with checkout. Over in the Asian companies, it's really, really popular. Their society has actually embraced Bitcoin to the point where it's not just on the internet anymore. It's a natural form of payment. I mean, I've seen videos where they even have the regular soda machines have, where you can pay with Bitcoin right there at the soda machines and right there at the McDonald's counter. America seems to be behind on that technology and implementing that technology into our everyday system. And there's probably a ton of reasons on why that it's being done that way. And the main reason why I personally think is I think it's a threat to the monetary system of this nation. We still have, thousands upon thousands of people who profit from us using dollars. You got banks that still, profit from your money. I mean, we put our money in banks as a form of security, and these same banks invest your money and make money on it, and then they have the audacity to charge you a fee for them keeping your money. So it's really a terrible system. And what makes it even more worse, or makes it worse, not more worse, but makes it worse is the internet was never, banks were never made with the internet in mind. Banks were made long before we had the World Wide Web and purchases on the internet and stores such as Amazon and all of these other stores that we take for granted in our present society, that we can pay with our credit card. Credit cards wasn't designed to be used over the web. Hence we have so much credit card fraud and the list goes on with that type of transaction. Some people are still a little nervous about putting the credit card information on websites because it can be stolen. It is a fact. But what the cryptocurrency is, it was actually designed back in 2008 by an individual that still is truthfully unknown who it was. But it was designed in a way to where the cryptocurrency was used predominantly in a digital realm, which basically means that the banks have been taken out of the equation and you no longer need permission to use your own money. I mean, you can take $50,000 worth of Bitcoin currency and give it to another individual with no questions asked. I mean, that transaction is done between you and that person. It's no different than giving that person a cup of sugar. I mean, it's no questions asked, and this is legal. This is not an illegal transaction. This is perfectly legal all over the planet. And another advantage of that is you have a very small transaction fee if you're doing overseas type transaction. I have a family that's overseas, and anytime that I send her any form of support over there, I have to pay a fee to the MoneyGram or Western Union or whoever I use. I pay them a pretty good fee just to do the money transfer for that. With Bitcoin, you do pay a fee for those type of transactions, but the fee is usually like $2 or $3. I mean, even if I was sending $50,000 or $100,000, it'd still be $2 or $3 to make that same transaction. And that depends on the different apps or the different programs that you're going through. Now, the advantages of using a cryptocurrency versus our modern day dollars and yen and so forth of the currency of the country you live in. The advantage of using a cryptocurrency is it's not controlled by a government or a bank or the Federal Reserve or the IRS. It's not being controlled and monitored by them. It's your money to do it as you want to do with it. And what makes that great is, like I said a few minutes ago, if you want to give somebody a large sum of money, you can do it with no questions asked. I don't care where they are on the planet. It's all being handled digitally. So the only way to for the powers that's against Bitcoin, the only way for them to interfere with such a transaction is they would technically have to shut down the whole internet and keep it shut down. Because unlike physical money, fiat money, it doesn't matter if the country's currency goes belly up. It doesn't matter if the dollar collapses. If you have Bitcoin as part of your portfolio or your only source of currency, then you're not going to be injured by such a catastrophe as the money collapsing. Now, there is still some negatives in Bitcoin that I've also discovered. For one, our system we're not totally integrated in it. So if you're still working a regular 9-to-5 job, we still haven't implemented to where your employer is paying you in Bitcoin. So you still have to use your local currency for things such as you getting your payment. If the government is paying you money, they're still going to pay you in their currency. Now, my personal suggestion is to advise people to get that money and put it in form of Bitcoin in their Bitcoin wallet, which is not just on the internet. You can also have a portable Bitcoin wallet that is totally decentralized from the internet. That it's on a device that's no bigger than a keychain that you can carry around. And with advancements lately in Bitcoin, we even have debit cards strictly for Bitcoin that would deduct your Bitcoin from any ATM machine. So we've integrated Bitcoin even into the banking system. So when I first got serious about Bitcoin, it was by a really good friend of mine, Vegas. When he first told me about Bitcoin, Bitcoin was $1,200 a coin. Now, which has been about 6 months later, I believe, about 6 months later, the same Bitcoin that was $1,200 a coin is now $6,100 a coin. And it's constantly increasing in value. Now, what that means to people who don't understand the value of a coin. Let's hypothetically say you have 1 ounce of gold. 1 ounce of gold at the time you purchased that ounce of gold might have been $1,000 an ounce. Let's say that for some reason the stock market increases in gold value. So now that same 1 ounce of gold is now worth $1,200. Even though you still have 1 ounce of gold, that 1 ounce of gold is now worth $1,200 instead of the $1,000 that you originally bought it for. So if you was to resell that ounce of gold, you would have profited $200 in whatever your local currency is just from selling back something that you had bought. That would be the equivalent. And using Bitcoin as an example, hypothetically, if I would have bought a full coin back 6 months ago when I was told about buying it for $1,200, I could now resell that exact same coin for $6,100. Well, I think it's $6,200 as we're speaking right now. So I would have easily made all 44,000 and some change just on that transition right there. Almost $5,000 I would have made just from holding that coin for 6 months. Now, to buy it and sell it right out is kind of foolish, because the Bitcoin is projected to go up to be like $100,000 per coin just in a few years from now. So even though 6,000 a coin sounds like it's a lot, it is not a lot, because if the same coin goes up to become $100,000 coin and you happen to buy one for 6,000, so you can see the increase. You just made what is that, $94,000. So just for holding on to that coin for a couple years. Now, I've kind of studied a little bit in the stocks and tried to do my thing with the stock market, mainly penny stocks, because I thought penny stocks was a good investment to do. Really, what I found out was I was wasting time, because there's nothing I've seen yet, not marijuana stocks, nothing I've seen has the legal increase like Bitcoin has. It's something unseen. This is something revolutionary in our generation no one has ever seen. So what I'm doing a series of videos. This is the first one. This is the introduction, just to kind of tell people what Bitcoin is. So just to recap, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, which means it is a digital currency that is controlled by you. You own it. If you was to, say for example, go buy something from Amazon.com, up to this date of making this video, Amazon doesn't accept Bitcoin. But what you would do is you would go buy an Amazon gift card using your Bitcoin. Then you would be able to purchase whatever you want from Amazon using the Bitcoin. You know, you'd just be doing it in an indirect way. So from my research, I haven't found nowhere yet that I can't use Bitcoin at. You can even buy prepaid visas with Bitcoin if you wish to do that with your Bitcoin. Because once you get so much currency, you still have to function in society. And until the time comes where our society fully integrates Bitcoin usage, you're still going to have to spend their currency, the local currency, in order to function. So you might still have to exchange Bitcoin back into a local currency by way of doing visas or debit cards. It'll still be digital. But this is going to conclude the first segment of this. My next video, I'm going to get into the certain apps you need to download on your phone to begin your adventure in Bitcoin. I would advise people who's never tampered with Bitcoin to download Blockchain is the one app to download, and the other one is Coinbase. Those two, in my understanding, is a must. Those are the two that I use. Those are the two that have great security, and those are the two from living in the United States. You can easily purchase your Bitcoin right there through your phone. You don't have to go to an ATM machine or anything. You can purchase it right through your phone, and within seconds, that purchase shows up in your wallet. I think it takes like 4 or 5 seconds, then that purchase is in your wallet. But you could easily download these apps, set the apps up. It takes like 2 days for Coinbase to set up. They have to verify that you are who you're saying you are, because you're dealing with currency. Some people aren't buying $200 or $300 worth. Some people are buying $50,000, $60,000 worth of Bitcoin. So it's easy to commit fraud with somebody else's stuff. So in order to protect the company and to protect the individual, they have to go through a verification process to make sure you are who you're saying you are. But once it's set up, it's clockwork. Once you've been through the security features that the app has to protect you, it becomes clockwork where you can just buy Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin. So once my next video is going to pretty much walk people through on how to download those two apps, integrate them with your current system, and how to add money and take money off and exchange money, and to basically navigate through the world of Bitcoin. So hope everybody have a nice day, and welcome to Bitcoin.